This is a Ben Frank Connection presentation.
Hey.
Hello there.
What's going on?
Welcome to another brand new episode of the Opinion City Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your host, King Ralph. I am joined by my co-host, Parma. What's going on, buddy?
What's happening? We have a big episode today.
We do have a big episode. We're super
you actually
excited.
got the chance to see him at a worldwide dojo.
A little high tension wrestling taping back in February. So we got a great interview scheduled for today. We got a huge top 5 coming a little bit later. But before we get into that stuff, if you enjoy what we do here on the channel, you can support us in 3 easy ways, and it is 100% free.
Absolutely.
Takes mere seconds, and we appreciate every bit of it. But number 1, hit that thumbs up button. Let us know that you like what we're doing here. Let us know that you enjoy our episodes. Yep. Number 2, smash that subscribe button.
Destroy it.
Absolutely. Get sturdy yourself and just destroy the subscribe button so that you never miss a thing we're doing here.
Never.
And of course, hit that share button so that everybody knows
let them know
about what you know. The fact that you love the Opinion City Podcast.
Yep.
Let them know so they can love it as well.
Absolutely.
If you want to take your fandom a little bit further, guys, we've got merch.
Get the merch.
We got lots of merch. We got
merch.
WrestleMania logos. We got everything you can think of.
Everything.
There's a logo for it somewhere on our merch site. So yes, that link will be down in the description. So if you would be so kind as to buy some merch from us, it would really go a long way to helping us out here on the channel.
Yep.
Of course, follow us online at Opinion City Pod for everything that we're doing here at Opinion City.
Yep.
Follow us at Ben Frank Connect for everything we're doing with Ben Frank Connection. You can get all of our information. You can get all of ABJ's stuff that he's doing, Tornado Tag Podcast, Wrestling with Life,
all that stuff.
all the shows.
All
the shows at Ben Frank Connect. And finally, and most importantly, follow and support our guests. You're going to see social links running at the bottom of the screen during the episode. So please, we love that you love us and we love that you love what we do, but it is super important that you follow and support every one of our guests. It's very important to us to help them, in any way that we can. So please follow and support them.
Let's do it.
And with that, Sean, I think it's time to bring on our guest. Who do we have today, buddy?
Sturdy Sal Mistretta. Let's bring him on in. Let's do it.
All right.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. How about you guys? Appreciate you guys having me on, of course.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Love to have you on.
Yeah. So as Sean mentioned, I got to see you a couple weeks ago at the high tension wrestling tapings at the Worldwide Wrestling Dojo. And I had never seen you wrestle before. And I will say, my wife and I were at the tapings, and of all the people we saw at the tapings, you stood out in a way that nobody else did. Like, my wife absolutely loved the whole sturdy bit. She loved it. We were both huge fans because we got to see you wrestle a couple times throughout the tapings. And by the time that show was over, there could not have, and I don't have any problem saying this, there could not have been a single person in that building who was not a fan of you after that show. Dude, you were killing it. It was amazing. The whole sturdy thing is just, it's phenomenal. It really is.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That means a lot. It was definitely a long day there. And I was so thankful. Like, I mean, the crowd was still into it. Like, match 1 to match 22, like
22 matches.
I mean?
Wow.
It was a good crowd.
Crazy.
Yes, I was like, my second one was like 17 or 18, and they were still like, I was first, and then I was like 17 or 18.
Right.
So, and they were still, like, as like fired up and hot as they were. I mean, it wasn't a lot of people. It was probably like 20-ish people.
Right.
But still, it was
a hot crowd.
it meant a lot to us because it was definitely long for us too, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I appreciate that, and yeah, hopefully the sturdy thing is something that just kind of came along, but
Yeah.
been good so far.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So then, how did you discover the dojo?
So the dojo, so I did when I was in high school. I kind of thought about because I was one of those people that obviously like a common story. I watched when I was a kid, kind of got back into it later. So mine getting back into it was around like sophomore, junior year of high school. So I always thought about it. So I visited a couple places then. And then I really just never had the time because I played football at college. So there was not too much time. And then COVID hit and my senior season got canceled. And then I was home, graduated, working from home for a whole year, just doing that. So needed something to do. And I always wanted to try this. Emailed Burger, said, "Hey, do you want to come watch a class?" And I think, that's a good thing that he does is have people come and watch a class and see how it's run.
Right.
Because it makes me feel like, okay, like I could fit in here. Like I could it's a good culture for me to learn and try to become a wrestler. So yeah, that was really the only place I like seriously considered after, that first kind of wave out of high school, but like wasn't really serious then. So yeah, that's how I got connected with the dojo. And it's like I say this all the time, but it was one of the best decisions I ever made. The group of people there also just awesome. Like they all feel like family to me. Like I made so many like great friends just through that place. So.
So obviously, you mentioned football, and football is a huge part of your life. Linebacker at King's College. Your dad is in the New Jersey Hall of Fame as a coach. What were kind of your thoughts on kind of getting into football, continuing that, switching over to wrestling? What did he necessarily think about you going from, football focusing to wrestling? Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So my dad actually never like pushed me towards football. I didn't end up playing until like 7th or 8th grade. So I never played until then. And then once I got into it, different story. I loved it. So yeah, I did that. He was coming up to games up in Wilkes-Barre all the time, like games I wouldn't even play in. He's traveling to like Williamsport. We're playing Lycombe in college out there. He's driving all the way out there while I'm sitting the bench. I'm like, you didn't have to come like 4 hours to watch me sit the bench, but he loved it. So yeah, that was a good thing having him there, and then kind of making my jump to wrestling. I think he knew too. He was there when I went to like those first a couple of times I visited places and walked around and stuff like that. He was there with me. I think he could kind of see it that like I was always kind of very interested in it. And I think he's older, so for him, he never like took it too seriously because all the guys he saw were, Hogan and Savage and Lex Luger and Sid, like all these giant dudes. So and I'm 5'5" with shoes on. So so I don't think he ever took it seriously. And then I think, he would always ask me how his training is going. He would never get like too deeply involved in it. And then when I started like working shows and stuff like that, he would go and I mean, you should have seen him on Thursday. He was like going nuts. He loves it now. It's his favorite thing. That. He loves going to shows. He's always there. If he can make it. So yeah, all the dojo shows he tries to go to. We actually Billy Avery, we ran a show at the high school he used to coach at in the 90s as like that my dad kind of set him up with the guy that runs the touchdown club there. And they did a fundraiser for the touchdown club, but that was last year too. So
cool.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it a lot. And he's starting, I think in the beginning, he wasn't sure how serious I was and where I wanted to go with this. And then now that he's seeing it and he's seeing that like what I could do, he's very, very stoked about it.
Right.
That's awesome. You had just mentioned something about Thursday. You just recently had a really huge show that, getting a lot
Huge
of
show.
attention on socials. And so why don't you tell us just a little bit about that and what you got to, do, who you wrestled, and
Yes,
pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
yes. It was awesome. So Captured Lightertainment, a mixture between Burger's Capture Lightning Show on YouTube, which everyone should go subscribe to. New episodes are weekly. I'm currently the champion of that show, the Capture Lightning champion. And Speedball Mike Bailey's Fightertainment did a combined show on Thursday, live streamed on Twitch. And so I what kind of how the story goes is my match with Marty Ubach, who was also at the High Tension taping. He wrestled Don Freeze there, which was one of the most insane things I've ever seen.
It was,
but that's another story. So I wrestled him. Our match it was an open challenge match, and it got released by on the YouTube channel. And then I was supposed to be on the show. I didn't know who I was wrestling. This Captured Light Entertainment. And then Speedball quotes it and says, "Oh, open challenge? Question mark? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'll defend it on your show. I didn't know. I wasn't directly meaning I would wrestle. I'm calling out. I was just saying I would defend it. Like, I'm gonna be on the show. Like, might as well. And then he gives me this tweet of, well, it's a shame that I don't run my own promotion where I could book myself into a championship match, even though I'm 0-7 in said promotion. And I was like, it really is a shame. And then next thing I know, there's a graphic of me and him wrestling.
That's awesome. That's great.
And the match was absolute insanity. He was awesome to work with, like really, really cool, really helpful. The match, like I said, the match was insanity. I couldn't. It was like an outer body experience when I was in there. I was like, this is like, I can't even believe I'm doing this right now. So yeah, he's really awesome. I mean, and even like the way he structures and the way he goes about things, it was like he had a billion other things to do because it's his show. He's running it. He's setting up the streams. Him and Veda pretty much are running the entire thing. And there was about like 8 matches on there. So, he's figuring out all those matches while calling our match, while we're calling our match. We're kind of helping with that. Yeah, it was something else. I think Burger tweeted it was the most insane thing that's ever happened in the dojo. It was absolute insanity. If no one's watched it, I believe he's going to be putting it on his YouTube in a couple of days, and you can also watch it back on Twitch on his Twitch channel. But like I said, like everyone should go watch the entire show. But that was really something else. I also beat him, retained my championship, which is another thing that he told me last year that I'd be pinning Speedball Mike Bailey. I would have told you
that's
what's wrong, let alone wrestling. You know what I mean? Wrestling him. So
that's an accomplishment, man.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Being only a year into your wrestling career, that's up there. It's got to be up there.
And everybody has had nothing but great things to say about you, including Cheeseburger himself, who, and I quote, said, "Sal is the future. This kid is going to go far." And
there you go.
I have to agree with him after seeing you live.
Thank you.
Everybody is just saying great things about your match with Speedball. You really showed it out there. So that's really cool. That's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it was really cool. He's awesome. Does kick really hard. So that is not a
no doubt there.
No, not at all.
Definitely kicks really hard. Yeah. My mom was there and she was like gasping. She was like, "Oh my god!" She, like,
I'm sure that was an experience for her.
Like, yeah, you're not coming to any more matches. Yeah. I was like, "That's it for you." But yeah, like I said, it was great. He's great. He has another show coming up Saturday. I think it's in Canada. But if anyone's out there, definitely go. And then I think he's running one in Mania too at at Tony Deppin's brewery too as well. So if you've never been to one of those shows, it's so much fun. So I would recommend going to one of those if you have a chance.
One, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's like an open floor, like there's no ring at all. It's just mats. It's crazy.
Exactly. It's a lot of fun. This one we had the ring in the dojo, so there was a lot more stuff we could do, which was cool. But also the no ring shows, they're so creative with it. And what they do, it's really awesome. So yeah, like I said, streaming them's awesome, but also if you have a chance to go to one of those in person when he's running them, they're great.
Yeah. So if you hadn't discovered wrestling, do you think you would pursue a career in football?
So I think I pretty much maxed out my capabilities at football.
Oh yeah.
I think being the size that I was, and I'm also like I'm a good athlete, but there's a lot better athletes than me out there, like speed wise and stuff like that. Honestly, it was crazy for me to get where I did as like a 5'5" dude. It's playing linebacker, and a lot of that just came from like my football IQ and my knowing what to do. And like I started at Kings. I got there. My locker was in like the back closet. Like I was like, this is insane. And then, I end up like, my freshman year, I was like thinking like, maybe this isn't for me. Spring ball that year, I had a really good spring. Sophomore year, I started playing a lot more, getting on special teams, getting in the rotation at linebacker, and junior year more the same. Ended up being one of like the top special teams guys, like special teams captain up there, which was awesome. And, it was a lot for me. Like, the mental game of like, I thought like, and when I got there and I was put in the back and I was like all the way down the depth chart and everyone is good.
Right.
It was really like a culture shock to me because I went to a small school in New Jersey where, I was like, I was doing whatever I wanted. So yeah, it was a lot. But like I said, like, I don't know how much more past that I could have gone. I have friends that played there that are really good. A friend of mine actually plays in Germany right now, a really good friend of mine. But he's also like a different type of level of athlete. He's a receiver. He's tall. He's fast. He has that ability. I definitely thought about getting into coaching a couple times. I definitely thought about that. I don't know if I would ever follow through with it because before I got my job with what I do now, which I'm a financial analyst, I do that as my job. So before I got that, I actually was supposed to coach for my cousin, who's a head coach down here in New Jersey, down the shore. So, it's that whole side of the family is all coaching. So it's I would have a lot of opportunities there. But I got that job and kind of, stayed with that. So it's been good. But it was great to me. But like I said, I don't know how much farther I could have taken it playing wise. But yeah, I definitely would have thought about coaching for sure. I think I would have eventually found myself to coaching eventually. No matter what kind of happened there. Still might, you never know.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you were again as a kid, fan of wrestling, so many of us are. And you got out of it for a little while and got back in it. But kind of looking back at, your history of watching wrestling, was there a moment during wrestling or something that you saw where you were like, you know what, I think that's really what I want to do?
So when we were watching, me and my brother watched everything, like every pay-per-view. My parents would get it. Like they were awesome with that every week. And Monday was Raw, Friday was SmackDown, and then I forget which day TNA was on, like different days. But we would watch TNA. I loved like TNA at that time. So we would watch that and we would wrestle all the time. And then I think, after I fell out of it and I got back into it is when I really saw like, I don't think I saw it as like everyone was like, oh, I'm gonna wrestle when I'm older, like as a kid. And then like when I got older and I saw kind of the different, like there's not like a specific moment that points out in my mind, but how many avenues are to go with this. I think I didn't realize when I was younger, but there's stuff everywhere. Japan, Mexico, Europe, you know what I mean? There's so many places that you could wrestle and do great things. Australia's everywhere. But that's kind of what piqued my interest of like, hey, like, maybe it's not in WWE or whatever. But if I do this, like, I'll find a spot somewhere, you know what I mean? Like there's always like there's so many places that you could go now and be able to do this. And I love traveling and all that stuff. So that's always been a goal of mine too. And I think for me, like I said, there's no specific moment, but learning all of the different types of wrestling was kind of what brought me into it, like learning the strong style, learning the lucha, learning like the catch of like in England and stuff like that.
Right.
That's kind of what learning that there's all those styles kind of what brought me to think I could do it.
And then it's go ahead.
No, you're good.
You're good. Go ahead.
So it's such a great time in wrestling, though. Yeah, we like to share on this show. We share. No, but it is. I mean, you think about what you were just describing to us. You wrestled Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah.
You know, from the Worldwide Wrestling Dojo, live on the internet, where anybody in the world could get on and watch you. Like it is such an incredible time to be like in the world of wrestling, because there are so many avenues, not just with what you see on TV, but I mean, there are people. There are people going around and making a living of their wrestling career just traveling on the indies. Like there's just so much out there.
Exactly. And go ahead.
I would say, and it's easy to think that you've been doing this just for a year, like in the ring. Like, can you kind of describe how this past year has been actually getting to wrestle in the ring?
Yeah. I mean, it's been awesome. Like I said, like, I think I didn't expect it to go, like I feel like it's going fast and slow for me at the same time. Like wrestling Speedball is insane. Like I would like to get out there more too, but like, that's what happened. I'm just going with it right now, but it's been crazy. Like some of the people, like, I mean, Speedball, obviously I wrestled Burger, who was like, that was such an honor. That was one of my first couple of matches. I wrestled Dylan Mesh a bunch. He's great. Nice. He's awesome to work with. He's helped me a lot just in like, because he was a lot of my earlier matches too, so he's helped me a lot just in that aspect. Troy Locke and David Moses, I've definitely wrestled with a lot. And so it's been awesome. And I got to travel a little bit. Like I've been down to Maryland. Nice. I went out to Pittsburgh with Junie. Me and Junie and Mookie Summers rode out there for worked for MV Young's promotion out there. So I mean, I've done Jersey. I've been, it's been cool. And I think for me, I love it. Like I've never felt anything like it is to like perform in the ring and to like put something together like that. So it's definitely a unique thing for me. And I think it's been awesome so far.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's super cool. So kind of looking forward a little bit and maybe, thinking about, the 2024 and maybe the upcoming year. What are some goals, some things that you're maybe looking to do in maybe this coming year?
Yeah. I think for me, I definitely just want to be able to get, I know what I'm capable of, and I feel like I'm capable of a lot. Like I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but like I do feel like I am, especially like the past couple like matches I had, I feel like I'm in a really good spot of like where I am as a performer and like what I want to do, and I just really want to show that anywhere possible. Like I would love to travel a little bit more, go maybe out west or down to Texas or anywhere Midwest, anywhere. Even up and down the East Coast. Like I just think for me, I just want to be able to for 2024, I just want to have all the matches that you could possibly have, pretty much.
Right.
Like, I want to wrestle.
Possible.
I want to wrestle. I have so much fun doing it. I feel like I'm pretty good at it, so I just want to do it more. That's kind of where I'm at for 2024, and it's definitely been my first couple months this year. I've definitely been like busy, so I'm definitely happy with that so far. So just trying to keep pushing for sure.
Indeed. So when you have spare time, what do you enjoy doing outside of the ring?
So outside of the ring, I love to game. I'm a big gamer. I play. Right now I'm playing. I'm a big MLB The Show fan, so that's my game right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Besides that, I play a bunch of stuff. Like I was playing. What was I playing recently? I was playing Starfield recently.
Oh, nice.
The Bethesda game, and then obviously like with my friends and stuff, I'll play the Call of Duties and things like that.
Sure.
But yeah, so I'm a big Bethesda person too. So like Skyrim's one of my favorite games ever. The Arkham games were
we were just talking about that off the air. Yeah, how good the Arkham games are. I mean, Robert,
they were unreal.
Just having those talks.
Yeah, they were unreal. That's literally just like me in middle school, me in like late middle school, like early high school, that was my life. Was just going home and playing the Arkham games. But yeah, I'm a big gamer. I got a dog. Me and my girlfriend have a beagle.
Nice.
So taking him on walks, doing stuff with him. He's a little. We call him the old man because he's like 8 or 9. He's got the pretty face. He just wants to chill out. So just getting him up in the morning to take him out. It's like a chore. He does not want to move. He wants to sleep still. But,
Get that.
And then besides that, I pretty much like my friends. We do a lot of stuff like. We go to AC all the time just to hang out and have fun and watch games and things like that. And then besides that, pretty much gym and work and wrestling. But I would say that's pretty much the basis of it.
So being big into video games, are you into the WWE 2K games? Are you playing the new one?
So actually, I haven't played one in a while.
Oh wow!
What was the year? The year they skipped. What was the year they skipped 1 year, right?
They skipped 20, 21.
21.
Yeah. So that was the last one I played. Was the one before that, and I really do want to get back into it. It is just like hard right now because MLB The Show is like a full-time grind for trying to get my team. I played Diamond Dynasty if anyone's ever played it, so it's like Ultimate Team. So you gotta like grind, or else these kids on the internet they got their team stacked and they're gonna beat the brakes off you. And talk to you in the headset. So that's been my main focus lately. But I definitely want to pick up 24. It looks awesome.
Dude, it's a phenomenal game.
It's a lot of fun.
What I've heard.
I think what's cool for like say me and Ralph is that I don't know if it was from last year's game, but they had a thing where you can upload logos that you've made into the game for your gear.
Oh, that's awesome.
They've done that a couple years now, and so you can you can do it. Well, we're big into Canvas, so we're always making logos and stuff. But being able to put like the podcast logo on a wrestler,
it's pretty cool.
It's a lot of fun.
So it looks awesome.
Yeah. So what is your game console of choice?
I actually have both now because
do you? Okay.
Because I was always a PlayStation person.
Gotcha.
Microsoft bought Bethesda, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be able to play any more games from them, so I have to get an Xbox. So I got an Xbox, but now apparently they're just gonna come out with it on both. So I'm like,
so you bought it too soon.
I'm like, whatever.
Bought it too soon.
Right, whatever. So yeah. Now I pretty much just do like anything I'm playing online, I'll play on my PlayStation because none of my friends have Xbox, and then anything that, like more story driven, like a single player game, I'll just play that on my Xbox, like the Starfield and thing like that. Anything like that would be more Xbox oriented. But I'm both, but PlayStation most of my life, I would say. Okay, for sure.
So, did you own like 1 through 5, or did you like skip some years? Or
so I started at 3.
Gotcha.
So actually, I started Xbox. I had the original Xbox and the 360.
Same.
And then I went. All my friends had PlayStation, so I was like, "What do I do now?" I had to go get PS3 so I could play with them, and then end up with PS4 and PS5. So I kind of switched, and then I got the new one too, Xbox, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm just both now. So
he has no side.
I'm neutral.
I kind of fell into the whole thing the same way too, because I was always a PlayStation guy. I ended up with PlayStation 1 when N64 went with cartridges instead of discs. And I was like, so I ended up at PlayStation 1, but I had an Xbox One, and all of my friends were playing Final Fantasy 14 online. And I did not have a gaming PC, so I was like, well, I got to sell the Xbox One and get a PS4 so I can play Final Fantasy 14 with them. But I'm so far behind on games. Like I'm playing 2K24 a little bit, and I'm trying to sneak in because I still haven't beaten Spider-Man yet.
Right.
I haven't finished the DLC, so I'm trying to finish the DLC so I can play Spider-Man 2. So I'm trying to fit all that in. Game. And I'm also trying to play the first of the 3 Final Fantasy VII remake games.
There you go.
I start it and I play it for a while, and then I don't have time. And by the time I go back to it, I forget how to play. So I got I'm not good at it anymore.
That's the worst. You're like, how do I play this again? What?
I'm kind of switching back and forth now. So growing up, what was your favorite video game to play when you were younger?
when I was younger, I would say, so me and my brother loved the Lego Star Wars games because we could
Nice.
play
Ooh,
together. So
good
that was
game.
something
Good
that we would
game.
play all the time.
Yeah.
That was a big one for us, the Lego Star Wars games. Um, there was one game on the GameCube. It was like the Shrek 2 video game. I loved that
Right.
game. You could not
Right.
get me to stop playing that game. Me and my dad would play that game. I
Love
was like,
that.
this is awesome. Like you could be the character, like you could be Puss in Boots. He was my favorite guy, and I
Right,
was like, this is
right.
awesome. But yeah, I would say that. I've always liked the sports games, like just like
Mhm.
being a sports guy, like Madden, NBA, and MLB, NHL, FIFA, all those.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
definitely those, and then I mean some like one-off games that I remember playing like through like middle school. The Arkham games obviously were very
Yeah.
core
Yeah.
memory of my life.
Yep.
Yeah.
The first Red Dead was
Oh, yeah.
that
Oh,
came out
yeah.
around that
Oh,
time. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Mass Effect 2 was also very big for
Oh,
me
those
in that
games.
game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those
Yeah.
are probably,
When-
those are the three I can think of off the top of my head that I
I
have
Right.
core memories.
I always had a hard time paying full price for a video game because
Right.
I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I was always like behind on certain games. I remember walking into GameStop one time and I saw two games that I was interested in, and one was BioShock and the other was Mass Effect. And I'm like, what do
Yeah.
I do? And I
They were
picked
both
Mass
very
Effect.
good.
I picked Mass
Both are
Effect,
very
and I never regretted it because you know the
Awesome.
ride all the way through Mass Effect 3 was just. I mean, you want to talk
Insane.
about storytelling, like
Yeah,
that
insane.
game series just blows it away. But I remember growing up in high school, my big thing was I was big into the Resident Evil games, and I
Yes.
remember I had a local video store, and I would go and I would like rent Resident Evil 2 for the weekend, and I can remember sitting there at like midnight on a Saturday night with all the lights off, playing Resident Evil 2, being scared out of my
Scared.
mind.
being terrified.
And it was so
Nightmares
much
for
fun.
days.
Oh, it was so much fun.
I can't even do those games. There was this game that my friend would play in high school. It's called like Outlast or something. It's like
Oh
a game
yeah, dude.
I would not touch that game. I would watch him play.
That
I'm
game
like, you
was
could play.
terrifying.
I'm not touching this. Like
Game
you
was
got it. Like,
terrifying.
I'm good. So there's definitely I could definitely resonate with that Resident Evil 5 story there.
So I guess you're not a big scary
crazy.
game person.
It's great. Like I loved watching it, but like I don't want to play.
But you
it.
just
I
don't
don't
play
know
it.
what's the difference? Like, I don't know what the difference is. It's just for me, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to be the guy running from the crazy dude.
Right.
I'll watch it good.
It's just a little more terrifying when you're
Watch someone
holding
else do it, but
control.
you won't do it.
Yeah, slightly more terrifying, even though it's a video game and it's not real
Of
life.
course.
It's still
Oh,
slightly
yeah.
more terrifying.
See,
Yeah.
for me, the only scary game I ever really played, but it was terrifying, was Fear.
Yep.
Fear was, dude, that game was terrifying. Fear 1
I
and
remember
2,
the commercials. Like I was like,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
dude,
not going
they
anywhere
were-
near that.
scary, bro. They're scary.
Mhm.
Well, growing up, we had the Silent Hill games. And
Yeah.
But see, the Silent Hill games were extra scary for me because I grew up 3 minutes outside of Centralia, PA, which is the mine fire town
Right.
that Silent Hill games were based off of. So, like, it was just that little extra bit terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
thinking to yourself, wait a minute. So, if this is happening 3 minutes down the road, are all
Right.
my doors locked? Do I have like
yeah.
a hammer ready in case somebody breaks in the house? Like, you know,
Right.
it's crazy
You gotta
stuff.
be prepared. Yeah.
Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned sports, and I see there's a little sign behind you.
Yes.
Is that a sports related sign?
Yeah, so my favorite soccer team or football or Calcio or whatever you want to call it is Napoli.
Okay.
There we go. Yep. Napoli. They play in Naples. So I went to Naples. It was actually, I don't think about it, it was in October.
Okay.
I went to Rome, Naples, and Sicily.
That's awesome.
So
I
with my
wish.
family. Yeah, it was awesome. But actually they had just won the year before the Italian championship, the first
Okay.
time since like Diego Maradona back in like the 80s or I don't even know. So this is the third one they ever won. Everyone was going crazy. So I bought this scarf there. Actually went out to a game out there too, which was an insane
wow.
experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. Everyone's singing the whole time. The dudes are waving these big flags. I'm like, I don't know how their
Nice.
arms are gonna fall off.
Yeah.
It's so much different too, because there's not like normal concessions there. There's just a cart with, like chips and beer and soda, and that's it. They don't got like none of the good stuff that we have in America. They don't get chicken fingers or you know what I mean, the ice cream or anything like that. They just got the beer and the chips and the water if you need it. But it was really cool. It was an awesome experience to do that. Like I've been wanting to go to Italy my whole life, and we went, and it was I would want to go back so bad. It was awesome. Loved it there.
Do you speak Italian?
No, unfortunately, we are we are very New Jersey Italian people, not the Italian people. Yeah, we're the people that eat chicken parm and eggplant parm and all that stuff.
Hell yeah, that's right.
Which isn't a thing over there.
No, nothing wrong with that. Over there. So did that make it hard to travel through those places, or was it fairly easy to get along with English?
Right.
So Naples and Rome are pretty touristy, so you could get by pretty easily. Sicily was a little more like I think they definitely spoke, and Sicily is like a whole different Italian because they have like a lot of Turkish involved because they were owned by the Turks for a while, so they have a bunch of Turkish influences, Arabic influences. They're right by like Ethiopian, so they have like some Ethiopian influences in their language. It's kind of a mixture of all of them. Cool. But it was a little less English speaking there. We did have a guide for us, like pretty much with us the whole time. And he was able to help out when needed. I tried to learn. I got the Duolingo, and it didn't work out. I could say some phrases, but
you tried.
Yeah, I did my best. But yeah, so unfortunately, that's definitely something I would love to learn is any other language, Spanish,
right, anything.
My girlfriend's dad's from Colombia, speaks fluent Spanish.
Okay,
I actually went there in the beginning of February. That was kind of like the same thing. Like no one really spoke English there; it was all Spanish. So trying to get by with my high school Spanish was kind of tough. But yeah, just trying to. I would love to be. That's something I would definitely like strive for in the future to be fluent in another language for sure.
Right. Sure. So, what other sports are you into, and who are your sports teams?
So, I have a very bad history of picking sports teams.
Okay.
I am a. If your name ends in ETS, you have Sturdy Sal Mistretta as a fan of yours, pretty much in the New Jersey, New York area. So that's the Jets for football, the Nets for basketball, and the Mets for baseball. So all those,
all the Jets,
If you have it in there, then you got Sturdy as a fan, and then I'm a Devils fan. I'm not as big into hockey. I don't follow as much as I should. I love it. I love when I watch it, but I don't know. I just can't. It's a hard time to even find. I find it hard to watch wrestling sometimes. Like how much there's so much going on.
So there's a lot. There's a lot to watch.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, not a great track record so far of picking my teams. I thought last year was a year, and then Aaron Rodgers in 4 plays goes down, and I'm like, this is just
that was rough. Rough.
This is just the most on-brand thing I've ever seen from the Jets. Like, I couldn't make that up. Like, that's insane.
No.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Philly sports, so I feel your pain. Like, we know all the things you go through as we see them eventually. But speaking of the team from Naples, the soccer team, are you able to watch games of theirs, and how do you go about that? Because that's very interesting to me that you're following a team over there.
Yes, so they're actually having a very rough bounce back year after the championship. A little bit of hangover. They started to pick it up lately, but they actually stream their games on Paramount Plus.
Nice.
All of them.
Oh wow,
that's
awesome.
Were on ESPN for a couple of years. If you had ESPN Plus, you could watch, but then I guess the league switched over to CBS, so now they do Paramount Plus for all and you can watch any of the games that they broadcast them all for that league. So it's pretty accessible, which is nice. It usually play once a week on the weekend, so on a Sunday morning, when there's not football on, that's what I'll be watching. This time there's nothing going on a Sunday, so besides there's no football on or anything like that, so that's what I'll be watching.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about your dad and how he got into the New Jersey Sports Hall of Fame, and tell us a little bit about his coaching career, where he coached, things like that.
So my dad coached for many years. Started at St. Peter's, which is no longer a school. It was in New Brunswick.
Okay.
It's no longer there.
Gotcha.
He won a state championship there.
Nice.
Coached there for 1 year.
That's awesome.
The only state championship he's ever won. He's been back multiple times. And then he kind of went more to like the public school route. I think his most well-known places were Sayreville, in Middlesex County. It was all Middlesex County pretty much.
Gotcha.
And Sayreville in like the late 80s, early 90s. And then he kind of stopped for a while. He did some college stuff. And then the late 90s, early 2000s, North Brunswick and Middlesex County.
Gotcha.
And he had some really good teams there. And once what he was really like known for was taking programs that didn't have too much winning tradition. Like before Sayreville, the Sayreville, I think they had one winning season in the past 50 years or something like that. And then by 2 years they were like in the state playoffs. And at that time it was only 4 teams in the state playoffs. So it was just like 4 teams. So, that's what he did. Like I said, he won the 1 state title at St. Peter's. He had a bunch of great teams. And did it for so many years. He thought he was never going to get in because he also went to places. He did burn some bridges at a couple places. But they let him in, and it was awesome. He was so it was so ecstatic. Like he was diagnosed with Parkinson's 2 years ago. So for that, it was pretty much a year after that he got this, and it was huge for him. Like he really wanted to get it. Cool. It was something he really wanted, and it was something that he got. And the coach now at North Brunswick was actually a player for him at North Brunswick when he coached there. Pushed really hard to get him in, and so we owe him a lot. And he was awesome. We met Phil Sims. He's the guy that runs the games. Cool. So
that's really cool.
They got a picture of my dad with Phil Sims and his plaque there. So
that's awesome.
Cool. It was awesome for him. And he's great. He's been awesome, and somebody really wanted.
So, being you were a big football guy and you're in football, do you have like a favorite football moment that you had, maybe?
Yeah, 100%. So in high school, I mean, in high school, I played offensive line and then I played linebacker. So I didn't get the ball. So when I scored a touchdown on a scoop and score, you could believe that is the best moment of my football career. I almost chucked the ball. There was like woods on the end zone. I had to like do everything on my power to just throw this ball into the woods. Yeah, I was going nuts. I couldn't even believe it. It was I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is insane. No one in my whole family was like the same thing, linebackers and guards. So it was like no one's ever scored. So it was really cool. Sorry about that, my dog. But
no, you're good.
Cool. Yeah, that's by far the best moment of my football life.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah.
There was
just chucking the football into the freaking woods.
If people weren't tackling me from behind, like my teammates, like jumping on me, probably would have happened.
Right.
But there was no hesitation with that. I knew right away once you asked that where I was going. That was it was raining so hard. The dude just dropped the snap. Then he slipped. I ran right through, picked it up, and ran like 25 yards. It was short enough.
All right.
It was short enough where no one could catch me. Like my short speed was very good. But once I got tired,
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
For sure.
So one last question here, something that we ask every guest that we have on. So what does pro wrestling mean to you, and how has it impacted your life?
I mean, for me, what it means to me, it means so much to me, like, especially right now. Like, I feel like so good, like, about where I'm at and like my health and my mind and everything like that. And I think a lot of that is like the escape of wrestling, and being able to do this and being able to, go to training every week and hang out with a bunch of people that I like, and then work for companies and perform in front of people that, really get a kick out of what I'm doing and, make an impact on those people. And I think for me, that's what it's about. It's to me, it's just, making the people that are watching, feel something, whether it's like happiness, sadness, it's escape for them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's how it is for me too. When I'm in the ring, I'm a whole different person than, maybe not that much, but like I feel it's an extension of me, and it gets me to escape, the real world of like work
Right.
and whatever's going on, family stuff, anything like that. It's been great for me. That's what it kind of means to me, is like, it's like my other kind of mini life that I get to go to, and really have like, all these people that I really like love and care about. Like I've made so many good friends, like, and that I never thought I would make, you know what I mean? And it's been awesome. Like I loved every second of it so far. And yeah, I'm just excited to keep going. So it's a wonderful thing, it's no matter how many bad stories there are about it, or drama on the internet or whatever, like, I always just go back to the like pure form of just wrestling itself.
Right.
And you're watching a match, and that's what it is. It's always an escape from all of that. So that's kind of how I see it.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, we are going to take a short break, and we will be right back.
Seven years ago, one man had a vision. It began as an idea, and it would change his life forever. As the vision grew, others hopped on board, and a podcast was born. A network was started. Episode 50 will be like no other. This is where it all begins again. And for this special episode, we need a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, your main event of the evening!
Oh yeah,
that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 50, 1 week after WrestleMania. April 14th.
Our WrestleMania.
We will be sitting down with Mr. Anderson for a very candid interview. Talks a lot about his journey in wrestling. Talks about his school right now, the Academy up in Wisconsin, and it's just a great time. So we obviously want to thank Mr. Anderson for doing an episode with us. We want to thank Jack, the ring announcer, for narrating our little video there. So please be sure to check that out live on our YouTube, April 14th. And with that, Sean, I think you know what time it is.
I think I do. And I think this is probably my most excited list ever. It's time for the main event. When Sturdy Sal told me his list, I gotta tell you, I jumped out of my seat because as a fellow Jerseyan, there's not enough Jersey representation, I think, on the podcast, and now we have a fellow Jerseyan by my side right here, Sturdy Sal. We're doing top 5 New Jersey things, so I'm excited.
All right, let's get it started. What is your number 5 top Jersey thing?
Let's go.
So number 5 top Jersey thing, I'm going to go with jug handles, because I don't think people have them. That's a thing, right? And everyone gets mad at me for what I made the infrastructure of New Jersey. Like,
right.
Whenever I talk to people and say I'm from New Jersey, like, oh, what's a jug handle? I'm like, I don't know. So shout out to jug handles. They're a safe way of getting across without having to turn left across traffic. Like, what else do you want?
See, in defense of that, because I don't understand the trope of not being able to turn left in Jersey. I don't get why. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think it's because we're, they would say we're bad drivers. I would say we're more advanced.
Yeah.
That,
some of us
want to take the risk of turning left. We want to, take the jug handle and, do it the safe way. So,
to be fair, that is probably why they changed the one light in my town. There was a light that originally was turn left, and I guess there were so many accidents that they're like, all right, we can't do this anymore. No more lefts. Just go straight.
Exactly. So that's kind of where I'm at. With the jug handles for sure. I don't understand why that's the thing that comes up most when I'm talking about. All right, whatever. But
all right, so let me ask you in reference to that. So first off, Are there any other driving terms on your top 5? Because I don't want to ruin anything.
I did have one. I think it was coming up next. I probably could have grouped them together, but
That's
all right.
Okay, so then we'll wait and see if you're gonna name the thing I want to talk about. But
okay,
jug handles are definitely an interesting one,
right?
And I don't think it's that, because I'm from Pennsylvania and I've been in Jersey plenty of times, having family in Jersey and whatnot. So I get Jersey drivers. I don't necessarily think that I would say Jersey drivers are bad. I would just say Jersey drivers are super aggressive.
Oh yeah,
like, they are offensive drivers, and not offensive but offensive.
100%, 100%.
I get that. 100%. I think we're aggressive.
I rode with Sean's brother one time, and I wasn't sure I was going to live. And Sean knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Listen, he has a wet foot, so I can't even fault him for that. He has a lead foot. He can't.
He's got Jersey lead in his foot.
He's got a lead foot.
Yeah, but jug handles are a little. They're interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think they're necessarily a bad thing, but it's a shock. All right, let's
number 4.
Let's move on. Yeah.
So this is the other automotive related one.
Okay.
And honestly, I do hate driving on the Garden State Parkway, but for what it represents, I have to put it on there. I think.
Right, of course.
It is awful time to drive on.
Oh,
especially when you're more north in the state.
Listen,
it is
every
awful.
morning going to work, it's either will there be traffic because of an accident or will there not be? But it's always because of an accident at 6 a.m. I don't understand why nobody can drive on the Parkway at 6 a.m. I have to be in such a rush every time.
Exactly. So personally, I understand why people wouldn't like it, but I think it represents, just because it's called.
Well, it's our thing. Like how
it's a thing that we have. You know what I mean?
We have the Garden State Parkway. Ralph has the Pennsylvania Turnpike. We get it.
We got it. So it's got. I feel like it warrants to be on there, even though I've had multiple bad times on that Parkway sitting in traffic. But you know what I mean?
How is driving on the PA Turnpike, Ralph?
So the PA Turnpike is not super terrible. The PA Turnpike doesn't really get more than 2 lanes. So first off, you're really driving on 2 lanes. The thing about the Turnpike, though, again, just like the Parkway, there are tons of accidents, but the PA Turnpike is usually very tractor trailer heavy,
right?
And that can be plus the Pennsylvania Turnpike is notorious for road work and work zones, like consistently all the time. So like there's a lot of just getting yourself through. You've got to give yourself a lot of extra time, because those work zones can really slow you down to a point. But I've had experience on the Parkway as well. I mean, I used to take every summer. I used to take kids from Pennsylvania. We used to take our church's youth group down to Wildwood every summer.
There you go.
So I've had my share.
Yeah, and I'm definitely familiar with the PA Turnpike too. Like it's all the way up to exit 105.
Yep.
So that's how I got up there. So definitely going through the Poconos up there is kind of
sure.
It's a little kind of on the edge there, but it's a nice scenic view.
Yeah, it's not bad. So now that we've gotten your automotive ones out of the way, I'm going to throw this out there, because I thought this might be on your list, but I wasn't sure. Traffic circles. Because I don't have any traffic circles that I have ever driven in Pennsylvania. But shortly after I got my license driving, my dad made me drive to my sister's house in Jersey, and we always went through the Somerville Circle, which has so many circles. Which has 10 different off ramps.
Yeah.
And you just you're like, okay, here I go.
The problem is no one yields when it says to yield, so you have to
That's correct.
You have to just go for it. Yeah, just go.
Yield
for
is
it.
optional.
Exactly.
There are definitely where I grew up, there definitely wasn't that many. Like there was a Somerville one, but there wasn't that many besides that by me. I'm down the short now. There's traffic circles everywhere for no reason.
Honestly, it's all circles.
I'm
it's
like,
all circles.
Put a stoplight here. Like, what are we doing? Why do we? What's the circle gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? It's an unnecessary confusion, I feel like. So I get that one. I didn't even know that was a mostly New Jersey thing either. But that's just
I think it is, because I don't
really
see them anywhere else.
Yeah. So Yeah, I honestly I can't explain that one for you.
Yeah.
That seems like, jug handle. I get it. Like they don't want you to turn left because oncoming traffic
Right.
circle. Like I'm just like, it's more dangerous than just put a stop sign or a stop.
Yeah.
Like even
Yeah.
a stop sign is
Yeah.
better than that. Like
Right.
anything is better than that. So I think it's just because New Jersey people don't want to have to stop. So that's why,
right. They just want to keep
they
going.
had to make they had to make the circle, so that
yeah.
they could just keep going if they wanted to. There's no
That actually makes sense. That tracks.
makes a lot of sense.
yeah. Mhm.
All right.
That's probably what it is.
Number 3.
Number 3 is a very controversial thing in New Jersey. I'm gonna go with the pork roll argument.
Good
I'm a
saying.
pork roll guy.
Good
Yes.
saying. Yes.
So good.
Good.
Yes.
You are correct.
I call it pork
You
roll.
are correct.
I'm even on the northern side of the state, and I call it pork roll.
Well, because honestly, the debate is ridiculous. Because on the packaging it says Taylor Ham's pork roll.
Yeah,
It is a brand name. It is a brand name.
Oh, but you call Band-Aids Band-Aids. But yeah, well, it's different. It's different to me. Like
It is because Taylor Ham is the brand name of the pork roll. Like,
So I completely agree. Okay, so I completely agree with you about the Band-Aid thing. Let me ask you this:
here we go.
and just right off the top of your head, spit it out. If you weren't going to call it a Band-Aid, what would you call it?
It'd have to be a bandage, right? Like that's what it
right.
Would be.
Band-Aid.
It is a Band-Aid brand adhesive strip.
Yeah.
That's what it's technically called.
But no one's gonna say that.
But that's exactly the same as the pork roll thing. Now, with my dad having been in Jersey, like we grew up with pork roll.
Yeah.
And you will never go anywhere that I know of. You will never go anywhere in Pennsylvania and see it called Taylor Ham.
No,
you will always see it called pork roll in PA.
Exactly.
But that's I completely agree with the pork roll side of it. But it is delicious, by the way. It is.
I'm sure more north they probably do say Taylor Ham on some menus. But
yes,
but it's pork roll.
The Jets actually just signed Mike Williams, and one of the Jets fans, like when he was visiting, sent him a pork leg and cheese, and it just irked me the entire time because they were all calling it Taylor Ham, and I was like, I can't."
That would make me so upset.
It was an awesome story. I got picked up. This dude door dashed a pork leg and cheese to the headquarters the night before. Like he delivered. He ordered the night before to get delivered at 8 a.m. the day he was going to be there. And he was there when he got there, and he ended up signing, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
But they just kept calling it Taylor Ham, and I'm like,
dude, bro,
like,
come
I
on.
can't do this. Yeah,
you can't do that
anymore.
You can't do that.
That was one of the worst things during the pandemic, because once restaurants started opening up again, we always went to places that had pork roll on the menu, but were completely out of it. They couldn't get any, and it was so disappointing.
Yeah, it was bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's definitely tough. But like, there's few things that are like better in life than just a good pork leg and cheese.
Dude,
like
there's nothing
on a
better.
Nice like Kaiser roll in the
on an egg bagel.
So good.
On an egg bagel.
Yeah, egg bagels too.
I can taste it in my mouth right now.
Forget it.
Like no matter where you get it, I don't even think I've ever had a bad one in my life.
No,
like I don't think
I haven't.
You can make it bad. You know what I mean?
No.
Like it's just good. It's just good. It's always it's old reliable.
The only way you can mess it up is if you just give us a piece of raw pork roll on a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't even think you can burn a pork roll, because honestly, the more you cook it, the better it gets. There's no way to screw it up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get mad about that. Like it's a little crispier. Well, it's just fine with me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, now we got the Pennsylvania version of pork roll, which is Scrapple.
Yes, I've never had Scrapple.
It's so good.
Scrapple's amazing, but Scrapple is hard to cook because you're trying to keep the outside crispy while you're trying to keep get the inside cooked and keep it more moist, and it can be tough to cook.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's amazing. Oh
yeah.
We're gonna have to we're gonna have to do like a breakfast episode.
Seriously,
we're gonna have to get together and go out. Like the three of us go out for breakfast and just tape it.
I need to try Scrapple, so I'm definitely down for that. It's definitely something I want to try.
Awesome.
All right. Number 2.
All right, number 2. I'm gonna go with what I have here is Jenks Club on a Saturday night.
Yes!
It's a very Jersey thing to do.
Wow.
Love it there in Point Pleasant.
Where do you live now? In Point Pleasant?
I live in Toms River right now. So my family moved down there. So not a far ride, not too bad. Just down 70. I'm having a good time,
but
sometimes I grew up. Get crazy. Oh, Point Pleasant?
No. I grew up in Point, and I used to work during the day. Giants Club was a restaurant, so during the day, during my summers during college, I would work there serving food.
Nice. Yeah,
yeah.
It's awesome. It's huge. It's huge now though. Like the lines are getting crazy. So
dude, it's ridiculous. You have to go so early now because the one. Yeah,
but it's so fun. Like it's so
wait
big.
till summer. It's gonna be so much worse.
It's so big. It's so fun. They got the sand outside. They usually got a live band on the inside. They got a bunch of bars all around.
I'm surprised you didn't say Martell's because
I like Martell's
is good too.
Yes, I also like the Bar A on Tuesday is a big thing.
Bar A is pretty good. Yeah, Bar A is good too.
And DJs.
Oh, listen, who talks about Bar A? They talk about Bar A. Yeah, Bully Ray talks about Bar A.
He's there like all the time. Yeah,
that's awesome. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
No, you keep talking about these places. My wife and I are such beach people. Next time we come to Jersey, we're gonna have to do it.
There you go, Bar A.
They're very good.
That's awesome.
You want good seafood too? Point Pleasant Marina Grill. Bar and Grill is very cool.
Very good.
Over there where he grew up. Yeah,
absolutely.
So right on the marina there. They got some good stuff there.
Yep. Speaking my language, sir.
Exactly. So there's so much. Just the shore in general. Like I think it got a bad rap because of Jersey Shore, obviously, all that happened. But it's such like it's. You go ahead.
Listen, all I will say is this: the show Jersey Shore.
Yes.
Almost all of them are from New York.
Yes.
So
exactly.
No.
New York and Connecticut. I think Sammy is from Jersey.
Yeah.
But
that's it.
I forget her name, but the one with the D that was Snooki's friend that they bought on later.
Dina.
Dina. Yeah. She's from
I think those
Jersey.
two. But I was like, why are we calling it Jersey Shore when it's about a bunch of New Yorkers, aka Bennies, going to Jersey?
Exactly. But it's such a nice place. Anyway, there's so much good food over there.
There is.
What I mean? The beach is great. The nightlife is great in the summer. Like it's awesome. Like I love the shore. Like I'm happy I live down here now because as a young adult, it's a great place to go and have fun with my friends and things like that, and go get some good food and just hang out. It's great. So that. I'll kind of go with the Jersey Shore in general, but that's my go-to place. There's Jenks on a Saturday in the summer.
Hell yeah!
It's always a good time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right. Well, it looks like we're up to our number one.
Number one. Yeah, I'm excited for this because I don't know what to expect.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna honorable mention here.
Okay.
I had a number one out the whole time, and then I got into the pork roll, and I got into something else that's controversial that I need to speak about.
Okay, let's go.
And that's gonna be number one. So the honorable mention was gonna be the pizza and bagels. I think they have the best pizza and bagels are in Jersey, and I think it's hands down.
Agreed.
So that's my 1A. But the one that I want to talk about is that Central Jersey is a real place.
Yes,
I love Central Jersey.
I've been waiting for someone to say that for so long.
I will die on this.
Central Jersey is a real place. Damn it!
Central Jersey
I'm telling you,
place. It's a wonderful place. And
you just made my entire night. Thank you for making my entire night.
Of course, that is number one on my list. I thought about that while we were going to the Pork conversation. You know how many times at school
I say it all the time.
I'm at practice, and people are like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Central Jersey." You're like, "No, really, where are you from?" I'm like,
"Central Jersey." That's where it is. It's Central Jersey. I'm not playing
this game with you.
No, there's no game.
They did pictures each year. It took me 3 years to be able to of where people were from. So they have Eastern PA, Central PA, Northeast PA, South Jersey, North Jersey. Oh, yeah. I was in the North Jersey pick for 2 years. Third year, I finally was able to I want a Central Jersey picture.
Yeah, dude, hell yeah. Central Jersey. So it's a real thing. I'm so happy you said that. I'm so happy you said that.
I 100% believe it's a real thing. That's Belmar and Point Pleasant count them as Central Jersey. 100%.
It is. That's Central Jersey. That's right in the middle. Central Jersey. Right in the middle.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yes. You got the Rutgers is right there. You got everything over there.
Validation.
Love
it. That's my number one.
You are now my new favorite wrestler, bar none.
I was going to say, he's got to be your favorite guest.
Done. Favorite guest, done.
Because there's been too much disrespect thrown.
Seriously. There really is.
It got acknowledged by the governor, and they're still telling me it doesn't exist.
It
Like,
does.
what are we doing here?
I know. What are we
Like,
doing, people?
They're just trying to
Central
make me mad at this
Jersey.
point. And, you know,
I can confirm at this point that Central Jersey has a Wikipedia page, so it has to be.
There we
real.
go. It has to
See,
be.
I'm telling you, man.
Exactly.
I'm telling
That's
you.
what I mean.
I'm glad I got no horse in this race.
Exactly. Yeah. Believe me, it was. Like,
I
if
love
you're from
it.
North and South Jersey, what are you even mad about if there's a Central Jersey?
Exactly.
I don't even understand.
What do you care?
Why,
You
let
live
us
there.
be. We live there. Let us be. Let us
But-
live our lives. in
Let us
peace in
live
the
our
central
peace.
Part of New Jersey.
Let us live our peace.
Gosh,
Yeah, how about it?
that's my number one. I had to go there for that because
I love it. I
The
love
battle
it.
I fought for years in college. Now I didn't know it was a thing until I got to college.
Oh, dude, I
And
fought
then
every tooth and nail since I was a kid. I'm like, it's Central. It's Central.
I couldn't believe people were saying it wasn't real. I was like, what do you mean it's not real? Like I lived there. I grew up. I lived there for 20 years, 18 years of my life. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yes.
the hill I'm gonna die on. I'll die on that hill.
I am with you, sir. I am with you.
Good. I'm glad we're on
So-
the same page there.
Oh my! All right. So before we move on here, I just want to ask this quickly because I thought about this like 45 minutes ago. So we know your thoughts on the Jersey Shore, the TV show. What are your thoughts on the Sopranos? You in? You
Oh, I love The
out?
Sopranos.
Good, bad? Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go.
Love this.
Yeah.
'Cause there
No.
are a number of Italian,
Yeah.
New Jersey
Right,
residents that
right.
don't enjoy
Yes,
it, but
I
Yeah.
did see, well, you have to realize that's not a reality show. That's an obvious dramatization.
Well,
of
yeah,
whatever's
of
going
course,
on.
of course.
You know, I think
Sure.
that's like, you know what I mean? And I love mob stuff. So like Godfathers, Goodfellas, all that stuff. Like that's right up my alley. So
Yep.
I actually just watched The Sopranos recently. I just started it like last
Nice.
year.
Nice.
It was awesome. I loved
Such a
every
good
second
show.
of it. It was
Yeah.
great. So yeah, I'm 100% all for The
Awesome.
Sopranos.
Hell
definitely.
yeah.
fantastic. Good to hear. You're on Team Soprano.
Team
Yes.
Soprano.
All right. So before we wrap things up here, we're going to get into some upcoming events.
Mhm.
Do it. All right. Why don't you tell us what we got coming up, sir?
Yes, for sure. So, you guys will be there. I will be at the second labor of Sean Henderson promotion
Yep.
show, Euphoria. It
Awesome.
is me, Max Zero, and David Moses
All right.
against Sexy Eddie, Brian Frank Milano, and let me get the last person real quick. It is. I'll have to find it, but it's a trios match. Two of his people from IWS up in Canada.
Gotcha.
Two people he's kind of
Gotcha.
worked really closely with.
Mhm.
I actually just recently watched the Tournament of Deaths, and
Okay.
I was
Mm.
watching the third one where Sexy Eddie just starts squirting blood out of his artery.
Oh,
and
God.
I'm like, this guy's absolutely
no.
crazy. So I'm excited to meet him, a real staple of the indies for a while,
Mhm.
and he's awesome. Everything I've watched from him, I love.
Yeah.
So yeah, can't wait for that. That's coming up April. I believe that it's 4th. Is that show, the one the day before is on the 3rd.
Yep. April. 4th.
So that's that one. And then I do have EWA Maryland, April 13th, the week after. I will
Nice.
be wrestling for the Air Cruiserweight Championship.
Nice.
Wrestling Old Man
Awesome.
Young Boy, who
Awesome.
you guys saw at
Yeah.
we saw at
That's
High
a lot
Tension
of
as
fun.
well. Yes, so I'm wrestling him for the Cruiserweight Championship, which is crazy. Names like Ruckus, Black
Right.
Cheese, Adam Cole, Gulak, all have held that.
Mhm.
So really stoked for an opportunity to get to fight for that. That'll be
That's
awesome. And then just announced today, actually,
Ooh.
Worldwide Wrestling Dojo Thunderstorm at the dojo student showcase show.
Nice.
That will be on April 7th, Sunday, April 7th during the day.
Cool.
So
Very
hit
cool.
up Cheeseburger if you want to get information for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not sure what I'll be doing there yet, but I'm assuming as a Capture Lightning champion, I will be doing something very fun.
Awesome.
And then besides that, pretty much let me see what else I got. That's pretty much it for right now that I got coming up in the next month. So I do have a bunch of dates available, looking to fill those up.
Cool.
Of course.
Awesome.
So hopefully I'll have some more stuff that I could that you follow me guys on socials.
Yeah.
Follow me on socials. I
Absolutely.
will be announcing those as they come up. But yeah, that's what I got coming up so far.
Right.
Very cool.
Awesome.
We got a few things coming up,
Yes,
Sean,
we do.
don't we? So
Yes,
next week we are going to be joined by one Mikey Anarchy.
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be a really fun show. Very excited for that. So while you're waiting for that episode, you can check out last week's episode with the Batiri. And I have to tell you, I just have to be completely honest right off the bat. This is a not safe for work,
definitely not
for
safe
kids
for work
episode. I will
definitely
tell
not safe
you,
for work.
I will tell you during the episode, I actually uttered the words, how many times can we get canceled in one episode?
Yeah, for real.
But I will tell you though, it is a great interview with the Batiri. They
fun.
are fantastic. They
great guys.
are open to talking about everything, and we do talk about everything. So it is a great interview. The Batiri don't do many interviews.
No.
They especially don't do many interviews together. So we were lucky enough to reach out to them, and having known them previously from Jakara, they were very gracious in coming and giving us their time. So we were very excited to have them. So please check that out while you're waiting for next week's episode. And you can also check out debuting this week, our Wrestling with Life episode with the founder of WrestleMap.com. So if you don't know what WrestleMap is, it's basically a website where you can go and learn about wrestling all over the world. They have a searchable map that lets you see all the different places in the world that have wrestling. They cover wrestling events from around the world. And so we get to talk to their founder, Brian Anderson. That'll be out on Friday on our YouTube channel at 8:00. If you are a Patreon member, you get that tomorrow night at 8:00. You get it 5 days early. So go over and hit up our Patreon, links in the description below, and we've got great rewards over there, and you get Wrestling with Life 5 days early. So that's about everything we've got going on. And it was great having you on the show today.
Absolutely.
You are you're a member of the Opinion City family now. You're probably Sean's favorite guest of all time. It'll probably take a while.
That was the
bar none.
Exactly.
Yeah,
appreciate you guys.
The bar is now up here. The bar is now up here.
Yes, you can beat that with good things to say about Jersey.
Exactly.
Yes. And acknowledging the existence
of Central Jersey. Exactly.
Yes, no more ignoring.
Yes.
No more ignoring these. And I do want to go back actually to the Euphoria show. It is Team Worldwide Dojo, myself, Max, and David versus Team IWS. It's El Chato, Frank Milano, and Sexy Eddie. So that's the match there.
There you go.
So we are absolutely looking forward to seeing you at that show.
Yes.
So great. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for giving us your time.
Yes.
We're so excited to have you. You're welcome here anytime.
Of course. Thank you. I'd love to be back. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for having me on.
So we'll wrap things up here, and we'll be with you in a few minutes.
Yep.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right. Well.
All right.
That was a fun episode. Yeah. I
love it.
I knew that was. I just had a feeling that was going to be a fun episode. That it was going to be great to just get to know a little bit more about Sturdy Sal himself, and of course, we look forward to seeing him at the WrestleMania shows. April 3rd and April 4th from Attic Brewing Company in Philadelphia. Labor of Love is having shows both days. Wrestle John on Wednesday, where they're crowning their first ever citywide champion. The match will be Cheeseburger and Weber Hatfield. And then, of course, on Thursday,
talks to us.
Yes, we will be having them on our post show. We're doing pre and post shows for both of those. We'll be at Big Dan Champion's birthday bash. We'll be streaming live from there. So there's a lot of great stuff going on Mania week. If you're going to be anywhere near Philly Mania week, please go out and support some independent wrestling. Go out and support Labor of Love. Go out and support everyone else that's putting on shows there. There's a lot of really talented people, a lot of great shows going on. It's not just WrestleMania. It's not just WWE. There's so much indie wrestling. So please go ahead and support that. And with that, Sean, I think that's going to wrap us up for the week.
Yeah. So, I think we will see you guys next week. And
thank you for your support.
This is Opinion City signing out.
This is Ultimo Ann here. You're listening to Opinion City Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Happy trails to you till we meet again.
Thanks for watching this presentation. Like, share, and subscribe for more.